Hello and welcome to the United Forum. This is your latest Manchester United news, transfer news updates, and your opportunity to voice your opinion out for the very first time in Sri Lanka. Now, I'm a little aware that we are having a bit of issues with the screen. Guess it is a little laggy. So let me just have a check on that. Not quite sure what is really going on. Is it the change in location? Yeah. So we're live tonight for the match reaction and player ratings. Manchester United did take on Watford last night at 8:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time, and once again, like you read the caption, is top for now gone for Manchester United considering last night's results. Is the question. Arsenal, in fact, are 1 point behind us, if I'm not wrong, with 3 games in hand. Manchester United draw to Watford 0-0. Plenty of chances created throughout the game. It's just that the finishing has not been there for Manchester United. And right after the game, I see a lot of people coming out and putting the blame on Ralph Rangnick, which is quite surprising because Rangnick has done everything he could do for that match there against Watford. He has coached a team to win that game for a fight. Let's stick to 4, which makes a little sense and practical. It's just that the finishing was not there for Manchester United, and people actually blaming Ralph Rangnick for this. What do you actually expect by blaming Rangnick for this? Is Rangnick to come out of the pitch and finish? It's definitely not. He is the manager. You can't really put the blame on Ralph Rangnick. It is to be blamed on the players. Everything that can be done by Ralph Rangnick has been done, in my opinion. They did quite well chances with it. It's just that the finishing for Manchester United was not there last night. And unfortunately the game he did his best. He gave it his all in fact. And I think yes, it's all to be blamed. None of the players out there deserve to put on that Manchester United jersey. Be it Cristiano Ronaldo, be it Marcus Rashford, be it Bruno Fernandes, be it Paul Pogba. I think the defense was the only positive last night, but what would that actually do? Because we have not managed to get that game over the line. So yes, it's not good enough. Ghazali says start on time, but we came correctly. Yes, apologies for the delayed start. We did have a bit of a technical issue, and we are still having a bit of issues as well. I'm not quite sure what is actually happening. So yes, do excuse me for that. Trying to work things out here. Bit of a technical issue, so can't actually do anything about it at the moment. I'm trying my best. Yes, make sure that this does not happen once again. I'm actually disappointed. I'm not quite sure what is actually happening. So yes, a bit of a delay because of the technical issue we had. So once again, I apologize for that. So let's start off straight away with the player ratings. To start off, let me give you the lineup against Watford. We went with last one goalkeeper for us, in my opinion, as well. People talk about Dean Henderson. I clearly don't want him to be starting because I think though David Dahe is not a sweeper keeper like Dean Henderson is, I do think that David definitely the player of the season so far for Manchester United as well, and that is why I do think that he has to be the number one. And in defense, we did have a change. Harry Maguire was dropped. We bought in Victor Lindelof, who replaced Harry Maguire. Alex Telles as at left back, in fact, instead of Luke Shaw is another change we did see. Victor Lindelof as a centre back along with Rafael Varane and Aaron Wan-Bissaka instead of Diogo Dalot. In midfield, we did your ratings, anything you've got Manchester United related on the live chat as well. Football is about opinion. I'm just another Manchester United fan, just like you are. And yes, my opinion does differ from you. So do send in your opinions as well on the live chat, your ratings, anything you've got Manchester United related, and keep the show running. Let's move on from David Dahia to our next centre back. And before I do move on, let me just get that live chat sorted out real quick so I could get your chats on screen. There we go. Next up, we've got Aaron Van Bissaka on screen. There you go. That is Aaron Van Bissaka, who did start at right back for me. Now, I thought Aaron Van Bissaka did a good job. Yes, offensively, we do know that Aaron Van Bissaka is just not there yet. And I do accept the fact that in the modern game, we do need fullbacks with offensive and defensive qualities both, and not just one, either offensive or defensive qualities, because the game has evolved from what it was. We need fullbacks who can be effective offensively and at the same time defensively. Yes, Aaron Van Bissaka is defensively mind-blowing, spot on the dot at all times. In fact, defensively, offensively, he's just not up to the standards. Yes, he needs to improve his game a lot. But I did think there were a few moments where his chemistry or link-up play with Anthony Elanga did play and turn out well. So yes, I thought he had a decent game as well, and that is why I've given Aaron Van Bissaka. I'll go for a 6.5 with Van Bissaka. I'll give him a 7 in fact. I've given Aaron Van Bissaka. So there you go. That is my rating. Now, do send in your opinions and your ratings. If you've got different opinions or different ratings in your mind, do send them on the live chat as well, because like I keep telling you, football is about opinion and opinions do differ. Now, from Aaron Van Bissaka, we move on to Victor Lindelof. I thought yesterday specifically the whole defense did turn out to play quite well. An important clean sheet. It's just that our offense this time was not just good enough. We always talk about the defense leaking up goals. Yesterday, I thought the defense was solid. Our fullbacks did not do the best of jobs. They did a decent job, I would say. And I think our defense was on point last night. Yeah, defense offensively should have done much more, but I think it was decent enough to get us over the line in last night's game. And that is why I've stick to good ratings with the defense, but when it comes to offense, there will be a certain changes considering performances. And I thought yesterday the defense was quite good, and that is why I've given Victor Lindelof a 7 as well. Good carrying the ball as well. Defensively solid as well. A good game for Victor Lindelof. In my opinion, it is Lindelof that has to start alongside Rafael Varane and not Harry Maguire. It's a shame that Harry Maguire has to start and has cemented his place since he is the captain. In my opinion, Victor Lindelof is way better than Harry Maguire this season. Harry Maguire this season has been shambles. It's just that because Harry Maguire is the captain, he gets his place, and it's a shame because Victor Lindelof is miles clear from who Harry Maguire is this season, and that is why he deserves to start. What I don't really understand is why does any manager who come to Manchester United cannot be ruthless in changing this. We saw it with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Harry Maguire had a poor season since the start of this season. We did see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer constantly pick Harry Maguire in that starting lineup. And when Ralph Rangnick came, we did think that things might change. We did think that the captain's armband too will shift from Harry Maguire to a different player. But no, we still see the captain's armband with Harry Maguire. We still see Harry Maguire start games. Why aren't the managers being able to change this? Is there something going on with the owners? Is there something going on with in fact, upstairs? I definitely think so, because if the managers are allowed to make their decisions on their own, I do think Ralph Rangnick won't start Harry Maguire in place of Victor Lindelof, because I think it's very clear that Victor Lindelof this season has been miles better than Harry Maguire, and definitely seeing his performances on the field, he has to start over Harry Maguire. And I definitely think there is something going on upstairs. There's something going on somewhere, and that is why Ralph Rangnick is not given that power to start Victor Lindelof over Harry Maguire, and he's not being given that power to strip that captain's armband of Harry Maguire as well. 80 millions in waste, clear daylight robbery in Harry Maguire. Getting him for 80 million is such a shame, because he has not been living up to that expectation. The fact that he is way more expensive, not way more you could say, but expensive than Virgil van Dijk speaks a lot considering his performances. Now, Rafael Varane, last night, in fact, I thought he too had a good game alongside Victor Lindelof. Both defenders had a decent game last night. Like I told you, an important clean sheet as well. uh, and good performance overall, and that is why I've given Rafael Varane a 7 as well. I thought the defense did their job last night, and like I keep telling you, it's the offensive side of Manchester United. Last night's start 11 that did not do the job. Now we've got a few ratings on the live chat as well. Yasir Latif says 6.9, 6.99. Really appreciate you guys sending your ratings on the live chat, but unfortunately we can't stick to decimals. We got to stick to whole numbers, and rounding off your whole number, I'll stick to the 7. I've given Rafael Varane a 7 as well, so you stick to 6.9. I round that off to the whole closest whole number as a favor for you. So yes, we got a 7. So we're on the same side. Overall, good performance by Rafael Varane, and your rating shows that as well. It's good to see us on the same page. So let's move on from Rafael Varane to our final defender, and we move on to our left back. That is Alex Telles. Now, a lot of criticization on Alex Telles. I thought Alex Telles had a decent game last night. In fact, people did say that Shaw had and deserved to start last night. I definitely think the fact that Alex Telles was started, did he put up a performance to take that spot from Shaw? I'm not quite sure, but he definitely had a decent performance in my opinion, and I do definitely think that Alex Telles is much better a left back offensively than Luke Shaw, whereas Luke Shaw once again is defensively better than Alex Telles. Just like the right back situation at Manchester United as well. I thought Telles had a decent game, but just not good enough. So I've given Telles a 6, an average game, you could say. Good, but just not good enough. So that's my rating for Alex Telles as well. I've got to change these pictures when I keep trimming them, but I forget to put them in place on OBS. So let's move on to Nemanja Matic. There you go. Now, Nemanja Matic, a few years older, and man, the wonders he could do for Manchester United. Manchester United so desperately need a defensive midfielder, and last night, Nemanja Matic starting and playing about 60 to 70 minutes showed what a quality defensive midfielder could bring to that team. He controlled that midfield, won that midfield battle, pulled the strings of Manchester United, and what a game he had. He did not play the full 90 minutes, but the number of minutes he played, he definitely gave it all, and definitely showed us fans what a quality defensive midfielder at Manchester United could do to this team. Scott McTominay, comparing Scott McTominay and Nemanja Matic, Matic is miles above Scott McTominay. He is levels ahead of Scott McTominay, and Scott McTominay is just not good enough to play that defensive midfielder role. I do think he is more of a box-to-box midfielder. He does a decent job as a defensive midfielder for Manchester United, since we don't have a replacement for Nemanja Matic. But last night was one hell of a game for Nemanja Matic, and that is why I've given Matic a 7. It's just a shame that Manchester United don't have a defensive midfielder, and that we have to rely on an aging Nemanja Matic. Now from Matic we'll move on to our next midfielder. We've got Fred. I did expect to see Bruno Fernandes playing in that, in fact Paul Pogba playing in that midfield instead of Matic, but it was a different scenario last night. We saw Matic, in fact Fred start in place of Pogba, and Pogba moving on to the wing. An okay game, you could say. Fred did not really highlight himself last night. I think he was hit by COVID, and maybe that is affecting him a little bit as well, but a decent game for Fred, you could say, and that is why I've given him an average 6. Now do send in your ratings, keep sending your ratings on the live chat, your opinions, questions, anything Manchester United related you've got, and keep the show running as well. Football is about opinion, and opinions do differ. And if you are new to the channel, do give us a subscribe, smash the like on the video, and do share this video among your colleagues as well, and keep tuning in every Friday and Sunday at 10 p.m. for your latest Manchester United reviews. Let's move on from Fred. We've got Bruno Fernandes. Now last night Bruno Fernandes, within the first 20 minutes he missed a few sitters last night, and I thought not just Bruno Fernandes, we saw plenty of chances missed by our forwards as well, Ronaldo, Elanga. So we did see plenty of chances missed last night, Was it just another bad day in the office? Was it something else going on? I'm not quite sure what is actually going on with Manchester United. They seem to be cursed by some sort of curse because things just don't seem to be going right for Manchester United. A decent performance from Bruno Fernandes, Mr. Sitter, should have won the game. I'm actually confused. How much should I rate? Just not good enough. Comparing Bruno Fernandes, his quality, last night's performance was just not good enough. It was not to the levels of Bruno Fernandes last night, and that is why I'm going to give Bruno Fernandes a 6. Now, you might disagree to this, you might agree. Do send in your comments on this on the live chat as well. Keep the show running, folks. Let's move on from Bruno Fernandes to Paul Pogba. There we go. Paul Pogba shifted to the wings last night, and we did see him move a bit from the left to the right as well at times. I really think if you are playing Paul Pogba on the wing, you've got to play him on the left and not on the right. And I really don't like seeing Pogba start on the wing, because even under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he did start playing on the wing, most of his best plays came in central areas, which shows he is much more comfortable playing as a midfielder instead of playing down the wing. And that is why I do think we've got to use Pogba in his best position, where we can get his best outcome, and that for me is in the midfield. Not the best of games, but decent game. And towards the end of the second half, towards the end of the game, the latter part of the game, we did see him running out of minutes in his leg as well. And Manchester United, Ralph Rangnick couldn't really do anything about it as well, because we haven't got that squad depth. Once upon a time in Manchester United, people started saying that the Manchester United bench looks far more stronger than the starting 11. At present, today, we don't have enough quality in the squad to replace the starting 11, to substitute the starting 11, which is a shame, because we said that our bench looks stronger than the starting 11 early this season, and by mid-season we don't have enough quality in the substitutes on the bench because we've given players out on loan. I think the Greenwood scenario has affected Manchester United a lot. We had to keep Lingard. Lingard doesn't look like a player who wants to play for Manchester United. We wanted Martial to stay back. He wanted to move. Cavani, I really don't know what's going on with Edinson Cavani as well. Donny van de Beek, unfortunate, just not getting enough play time, and then you see him at Everton play a marvelous role against the champions, which is a shame at Manchester United. The decision making at Manchester United is to be questioned, and I've said this since the beginning of the season, and since the beginning of my podcast as well, since the beginning of this channel. I've kept saying the decision making at Manchester United is to be questioned, because we've seen silly transfers, silly loan outs, and silly decisions made by the board as well, which is to be questioned, because we are not acting like a serious club. We are, at the moment, what is happening is, it looks like a few clowns at the wrong circus. That's what it seems like at Manchester United. I really don't know how to relate that to you in better ways as well, because the scenarios, the scenes happening at Manchester United don't look good. And I really hope once Ralph Rangnick's season is over as the caretaker boss, as the interim manager, once he moves upstairs, things actually fall into place, because I'm still not sure. Even if Ralph Rangnick moves upstairs, I'm not quite sure how smoothly things will go, because we've still got the Glazers on top of him making decisions as well. So I'm not really quite sure if Rangnick will be given that freedom to make decisions of his own, because if Rangnick is being given that freedom, definitely this club will finally fall back into place. And I'm not quite sure that will happen, because we've got the Glazers as our owners. And even if you look at the managerial situation at the moment, PSG doesn't want Pochettino at as their manager. Manchester United fans don't want Pochettino as their manager, but the owners definitely want Pochettino as their manager, because Pochettino is a yes man. Pochettino will play puppet to the Glazers, and that is why the owners want Pochettino, because they know that someone like Conte or a Ten Hag
might not play a puppet to them, and that is definitely why Manchester United did not sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer early on in the season and go for Antonio Conte when he was available. So that itself is evidence what the targets of our board is. Our board is always satisfied, the owners are always satisfied with getting top four, and at the moment we look like we are about to lose that as well, with Arsenal only a point, in fact 2 points behind us with 3 games in hand. Now let's move back to Paul Pogba. A decent game, not the best game. Should play in the central midfield for me and not on the wing, and that is why I've given him an average 6 as well. There we go. Now we move on from Paul Pogba to our next midfield, in fact to our next forward line, and we've got Ronaldo on the next player on the forward line, in fact. Now, yes, a lot of criticization last night for Ronaldo. I do accept the criticization on Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is to take part of the blame last night, but you look at the situation at Manchester United right now, especially with the strikers. Ronaldo is a 37-year-old striker. He has been playing this was his third game in 6 days, and at 37, to be asking him to play 3 games in 6 days is a bit of a tough ask, I think, considering his age as well. And this is where we definitely missed Edinson Cavani. Edinson Cavani is injured. He is not fit enough to play. Neither do we have Anthony Martial. So it's a tough ask expecting so much from Cristiano Ronaldo at 37. I think a part of the blame, yes, Ronaldo definitely has to take part of the blame on yesterday's result as well, but not as much as people have criticized him, in my opinion. People feel that he is a problem at Manchester United. In my opinion, he's definitely not the problem at Manchester United. He is very least of the problems at Manchester United, in my opinion. But definitely, you have to accept the fact that it was a bad game for Ronaldo, and you expect much more from him, considering it is Cristiano Ronaldo, and that is why I've given Ronaldo a 5. There we go. Now, do send in your opinions. You might agree, you might disagree. Do send in your opinions on this on the live chat as well. Keep interacting on the live chat. Keep the show running as well. Now, from Cristiano Ronaldo, we move on to, there we go, to a final forward on the line, Anthony Elanga. Now, what I actually like in Anthony Elanga is that his never give up attitude. And what I mean by this is, at times when he did link up and play with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka overhits the ball and it goes quite fast towards the outline. And Elanga, one thing Elanga has seen, and I've seen throughout his time at Manchester United so far, is that he never gives up on the ball. He goes, runs until the ball gets out of the line. That is something good I've seen in Anthony Elanga. His ambition to always keep running for that ball until it is completely dead, until play is completely dead, is something I really like in Elanga. This, had it been Marcus Rashford, definitely when Aaron Wan-Bissaka overhits those balls, he definitely won't go after them. But this is one positive in Anthony Elanga. Definitely one of the better players we've had so far this season, and the fact that at 19 he's coming up and taking this responsibility after all that has happened at Manchester United. Yes, he was criticized as well for missing that penalty, which I don't think is fair on him. We never should have taken that game to penalties against Middlesbrough as well, but that's the past. So far, so good for Anthony Elanga. Missed a sitter of a chance last night, unfortunate. But yes, you are playing for Manchester United. Age is not an excuse. It's a talent that speaks. And yes, not the best of games. A decent game, you could say. Definitely should have made use of that chance he had. It was a clear-cut goal. Clear-cut, easy finish as well. It's an open goal, you could say. And that is why I've given Anthony Elanga a 6. And now finally, we'll move on to our substitutes. Jadon Sancho, I thought since he came to the field, he was lively. He was not given enough time on the ball, in my opinion, but definitely made an impact. Came in, created a few chances, tried to he took a good shot as well, which unfortunately did not get on to the right top right corner as well. Unfortunate, he tried to make use of his smile shot, curve that ball in, just did not get at the back of the net. I thought since he came, he looked quite lively. He looked like a player who can make an impact and change the game. In my opinion, came a little too late and definitely should have started that game instead of Marcus Rashford or Paul Pogba on that. In fact, instead of Paul Pogba on that wing, and unfortunate. Did he need a rest? I'm not quite sure. He has been starting quite frequently, but we definitely should have brought him early on. Then a decent game. I thought he was lively since he came in, and that is why I'm giving him a 6.5. Mind you, I'm giving Jadon Sancho 6.5. We'll round that off the closest number. I've got to give him a 7 since we can't go with decimals. So yes, that will be my rating as you see on screen. So from Sancho, we move on to our next substitute, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, a topsy-turvy season for him this time, isn't it? He has been starting, loses his spot. Has Alex Telles gained that spot back? In my opinion, just not good enough. Alex Telles' performance last night to take that spot back, but definitely a better offensive left back than Luke Shaw. Since the Euro finals, since the Euros tournament, you could say he has not been the Luke Shaw we saw the season previous, and that is why I think he's got to give a better fight to Alex Telles, because if he does go on like this, Telles might improve his game and take that spot back. A decent game, not the best of games. Really did not look like he would have made a difference even if he did not come. In fact, his substitution did not really make an impact. I thought Alex Telles could or should have done that job he was doing anyway, and that is why I've given Sancho, in fact Shaw, a 6. And to be honest, he barely had any time on the pitch as well to make any impact. Rashford, I thought, was poor last night once again. To be honest, he gives me reminders of the Daniel James days, and to be honest, this dip in form makes Rashford look like an English Dan James, which is quite running. In fact, worrying, because Rangnick is only using Rashford for his pace right now. In fact, if he had Daniel James, I suppose he would have done a better job than what Rashford is doing at the moment, which is worrying. I hope things change really quickly. I've kept saying this since the time Rashford hit bad form as well. Hope things change really fast for this lad. Not just good enough, barely had any time, but really did not look like he was on the pitch since he came there. Unlike Jadon Sancho and Shaw, who gave some sort of presence on the field, Rashford did not offer that, and that is why I've given him a 5. And finally, moving on to our manager Ralph Rangnick. Rangnick, I thought, got everything right last night. Not everything, but he got most of things right last night. And unfortunately, the finishing cannot be done by him. We need to start winning games. He did it right. He has coached a final, but we need to start winning games. I'll give him a 6, and had we won that game, I would give him a 7. Give him a 6 since we did not win that game, and since it was a draw last night. That is pretty much it from the match reaction and player ratings, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far as well. I thoroughly did. Unfortunately, none of you really predicted the lineup or the scores last night as well, so no shout outs. In fact, I can't give a shout out to myself as well. I got the score wrong, completely wrong, and the lineup did have a few changes as well. In fact, if you go with my preferred lineup, there were somewhat similarities. In fact, we saw Jadon Sancho start instead of Fred. That was the only difference from my preferred lineup instead of the predicted lineup, whereas my predicted lineup was quite different. So that's pretty much it from the match reaction and player ratings. I hope you did enjoy this show. I did enjoy the show. Clearly did not enjoy the match. I had a long day last night as well, yesterday as well, and I thought Manchester United would make that day by ending the day on a good note by giving us that win, and you could say somewhat close it off. Unfortunately, that's not how things went. That's it for tonight, folks. I hope to see you once again next Friday at 10 p.m. for the match. In fact, for the pre-match press conference, Manchester United will be taking on Manchester City. It's the Manchester Derby. And next week, hopefully, I see you next week at 10 p.m. And until I see you then, have a good night and a blessed week. This is the United Forum.